Hey folks, I'm Chris and I'm your Commander Mechanic. Here on the channel we do deck techs, tune-ups, deck building advice, and podcasts with cool people. But before we get started, I wanted to remind everybody that if you want to pick up any of the cards that are mentioned in today's video, you can head over to our affiliates. Our Canadian affiliate, Hairy Tarantula, where you can use the promo code CMDR Space Mechanic at checkout, or our international affiliate at TCG Player. Links are in the description. And if you like what's going on here, you can subscribe to the channel or help support us on Patreon. You can get one-on-one deck building advice from me directly, as well as monthly exclusive content. Go check it out at patreon.com/cmdrmechanic. This week, I've had several people reach out about the new Galazeth Prismari out of Strixhaven. Here's one request in particular. Hi Chris, I love the new Elder Dragons out of Strixhaven. They're perfect for EDH, Elder Dragon Highlander. I was wondering which one you thought was the most powerful and which would make for a near CEDH level of power. I feel like Galazeth because he's so close to Urza. Can you show me what a deck would look like? I love it. Actual Elder Dragons in the highest power end of the pool? Sign me up! There are a lot of ways that we can go with Galazeth, so let's take a look. Galazeth is a 4-mana 3/4 flyer that creates a treasure when entering the battlefield, refunding 1 mana immediately. But Galazeth also has a static ability that lets you tap artifacts for mana, but only to cast instants and sorceries. On the surface, Galazeth might not look as exciting as some of the Elder Dragons from Strixhaven. Certainly not as big or as splashy, but don't underestimate those abilities. Being lower costed makes Galazeth much better suited for faster paced and more powerful play. In higher power level games, average casting costs get a lot lower. And there's a reason parallels are drawn to Urza Lord High Artificer. Urza is also 4 mana, also makes an artifact when entering the battlefield, and can also tap artifacts for mana. Urza is proven to be viable at higher power levels, so why not Galazeth? Well, let's take a look at the differences. First, Urza creates a construct. It's not hard to write off the life total pressure that this construct can put on opponents, especially in a format with Necropotence, Ad Nauseam, and very painful mana bases. Second, Urza's activated ability is a game ender. With infinite mana, you can just turn over your deck. That is incredibly valuable to have in the command zone and removes one piece you need to search for from the equation. Now, both of these commanders require other pieces to function, which is why they really benefit from a package they can abuse, and that is Stacks. Stacks, named after Smokestacks, is a strategy reliant on slowing the game down and denying resources from your opponents to allow you to assemble combo pieces. In normal decks, Stacks slows everyone down equally and is generally seen as unfun by the majority of players. But in a deck led by Galazeth or Urza, we can make Stacks pieces asymmetrical. What does this mean? There are a set of Stacks pieces that only work when untapped. Static Orb, Winter Orb, and Storage Matrix to name a few. With Galazeth, we can tap these artifacts at the end of our prior opponent's turn, meaning when we move to our turn, we aren't affected by them. The goal being to slow down our opponents long enough that they can't disrupt us, but we can disrupt them and assemble our combos. Trinisphere is another piece that works like this. When untapped, it increases the cost of all spells to a minimum of 3 mana. And in a format where average mana values are 1 to 2 at most, this deck is a massive swing in tempo. We can slow everyone's game plan down to a crawl while we turn utility artifacts into sources of mana for our plans, ramping far faster than anyone else. An interesting card that also works this way is the old classic Howling Mine. And you might be thinking to yourself, Chris, Howling Mine? In high-powered games? You're crazy. But I assure you it is a 2-mana artifact that gets only us an additional card each turn. We simply tap it on our turns with Galazeth so that no other player has it untapped during their turns. 2 mana, a mana rock, and an extra card for us each turn. All upside. We also have the ability to Hull Breacher and Wheel in the deck. While not strictly a stacks piece, it is an avenue that leaves our opponents empty-handed, and with us having a boatload, pun intended, of treasure. Now we can also slow the pace of the game down with pieces like Blood Moon or Back to Basics. There are many instances in the higher power level end of the format where opponents may only be running 1, 2, or 3 basic lands, and these enchantments lock them out of messing with us while we assemble our combos. So that begs the question, what combos are we trying to assemble? If we don't have a win con in the command zone, how can we win? Long story short, we're trying to storm. The biggest piece we're looking for is Underworld Breach. This will allow us to storm out of the graveyard, eventually getting our count high enough via a Jeweled Lotus or a Lotus Petal, along with Birgi, God of Storytelling, or the new Stormkiln Artist, in order to start generating mana whenever we cast a spell, enough to keep us going over and over again. From here, we brain freeze ourselves or wheel over and over, giving us access to our whole libraries in our graveyards. We could then either cast a Thassa's Oracle from the yard with our now empty library, or mill out our opponents with brain freeze, or blast them all with a Grape Shot. There's a secondary line in the deck with Twin Flame as well, either casting Twin Flame from the yard with Underworld Breach to make entirely too many Dockside Extortionists, or we could dual caster mage with Twin Flame, creating infinite hasty attacking dual casters. So for all of those looking for a way to play an Elder Dragon in CEDH, here's your opportunity. It's not the fastest deck, but the power level is very high. Just ensure your opponents are on the same page about the power level at the table. Best you talk about it first, rather than be frustrated with a non-game. So I hope I've put together something cool and interesting for you all. This new Elder Dragon from Strixhaven is definitely going to make an impact in a format of its namesake. Everyone else, do let us know what you think of this list in the comments below and what you think of the Stacks archetype, particularly at the higher end of the power level spectrum. Until next time, folks, good luck and have fun. As always, a special thanks to all of our patrons, without whom this would not be possible. A big shout out goes to our Lodestone Golems, Ben Frayne, Sterling Lankford, Will Briggs, Ben Davis, David Neri, Corey Whitaker, and Snipes. And especially our premium patrons are Metalwork Colossi, Austin Charlotte, Charles Olson, Matthew Chandler, Ben Shackelford, Pulsating Kiwi, Jim, Raphael Lum, Wyatt M, and Timothy Conan. Thank you, all of you. You make this possible.